All right. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Pushing to Your Purpose podcast. I'm your host, Tanya B. Bailey. We are pleased to have Miss LaTonya Lee as our guest today. She is a first time author of When Memory Fades, Love Remains, a daughter, caregiver, and a survivor's testimony. Since this is your first time on Pushing to Your Purpose podcast, can you share a little about your accomplishments, author journey, and your new book, When Memory Fades, Love Remains?
Yes, ma'am. But thank you for having Miss Tanya Bailey. I appreciate this so much. Of course, my name is LaTonya Lee. I am a new author, and I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, a caregiver, an advocate, a woman of faith. But professionally, I've spent many of my years basically working with others in the workplace and supporting my family and community throughout the church and different areas as well. One of my greatest accomplishments, I would say, would have to be walking through this journey of the most difficult season of my time with my mom, with her memory decline and having Alzheimer's as well. So it was through that journey that I found my purpose through pain. My author journey, it began not because I set out to write this book. It was basically because I have lived a story that I felt that needed to be told. For my mother, she had faced the memory loss and the decline with the Alzheimer's and dementia. But through all that whole thing, I just felt like I wanted to give caregivers um, some hope and strength in their journey as they went through.
Okay, that's good. That's good. It looks like the book looked to me like it's really good and it's very helpful. What inspired you to write your book when memory fades, love remains? What was your inspiration from that?
I think my inspiration came basically from my mother's journey that she had. As I walked through that season with her, I realized there were many emotions that caregivers go through. Often they keep them hidden. So it's the exhaustion, it's the grief, it's the frustration, and it's the guilt that you may have for neglecting. For me, it was neglecting my family. So it was like I had to put everything else on hold to make sure that she was okay and everything that came first. And I had at the time it was three kids. I have a son and two daughters, and two were in college, and one were it was in high school. So it was like high school events for my daughter. I had to put off to the side because I had to be there for my mom and dad, and I felt like I had to be the one to kind of take care of that because my brother was, a male. So I just kind of, and my dad, I just certain things I just couldn't do. So I wanted to give a voice to those experiences that I had and let other people know that even though you might be going through this challenge, just remember God is with you and there's purpose in your pain.
Right. That's right. That sounds really good. And you're absolutely right. God is with you no matter what you're going through. I always say that no matter, even in your healing, God is still healing no matter what you're going through.
That's it.
How has your understanding of God strengthened your faith?
I would say God has deepened my faith through those challenges that I faced as a caregiver. Before the journey, I knew God as a provider and a protector. During this season, I had to lean on Him even more because through this book, and you'll see in the beginning, I kept on answering the question, why? Why me? Why me? And
Mhm.
it was like, why my mother? Why this disease? And through that, God in the beginning kind of kept telling me, why not you? Why not you? And then
That's
as
right.
I continued to go on, it was more like, because you're strong enough to get through this and I'm with you. So then it kind of, let me know throughout that he was still with me. It was days when I felt emotionally drained and physically exhausted, but yet somehow God gave me the strength to continue to go in and do something else. It was days I sat in the car and I cried before I went in the house, but it was still God was letting me know then at those moments, okay, now you've cried, you've gotten through this. Now I need you to get yourself together and we're going in the house and we're going to face whatever challenge it may be today. So if it was a day that she was frustrated about something, or if it was a day that she was just not in a good place, then I would be able to handle it. So that experience to me deepened God's grace over me. I just kind of knew his grace was over me at the time. So it strengthened my prayer life each day. It reminded me that I needed to have time with God in order to face whatever challenge it might be that day.
Mm. Listening to you talk, it sound like it bothered you at first because you wasn't prepared for that. But God prepared you for that at that time, because we'll never prepare for whatever it is that we don't want to do.
You're right.
And listening to you talk, it's like, okay, God, I know this is not what I signed up for, but this is the path you're taking me, and I know I'm gonna have to be the one to do it. And it was only, and I guess like you as well as myself, it's only right for you to do it, because you felt it's not gonna be done right if you didn't do it. No matter if you was a daughter or the son, if you didn't do it, it wouldn't have been done right to take care of your
Exactly.
mom. So I
Exactly.
do understand that. In what ways did caring for your mother in that season of her life affect you?
Um, it changed me in a lot of ways. It taught me patience,
Mm,
compassion, selflessness. It gave me a deeper love for people that were going through something. I had never experienced anything like this before. I've seen, others care for people and do some things, but then when I had to come in and do it myself, it was okay, it's my dad, my brother, and myself. Okay. They can't do all of these things, but I would have to do it. So it was more like not only babysitting myself, but I had to babysit her. So it had to be like you had to know
right,
what medications they had to be taken. I had to get all the medications together. It was more like, okay, if you're getting the medications together, you're getting this together, what doctor's appointments? And so lot of times I neglected my doctor's appointments because I had to be there for her doctor's appointments. So it really, it was difficult for me to see my mom's memory decline, but yet it was even more difficult to know that if I wasn't there to help her, then how is she going to get through this
mhm,
situation as well?
that's right,
So my dad was very strong.
right.
And even with my dad being with me doing this and my brother, but I felt like I had to be the strong one for them as well. So
Hmm.
I had to just get in there and do everything, and I did it. And so it was a lot of sacrifices that I had to do.
That's good. That's good. What message do you hope readers can take from your book?
I would say the central message that I would like for all of them to take from my book would be love remains and endures even when your memory fade. So even though my mom's memory was leaving and going, I grieved my mother each day because she was no longer there with me. She had kind of
Mhm.
forgotten my name, so she thought I was one of her sisters, which my mom has no sisters. But I felt, it took a while for me to kind of grasp hold of that. I was like, okay, well, she doesn't even remember me anymore. She don't even have sisters. But then I had to think and say, you know what? Most people that have sisters, they feel a different love for that sister. So I had to look at things at a
Right.
different way. Um, it also made me think about purpose and pain. So I want them to know there's purpose
Mhm.
through your pain that you will have. So I had to get to the end of my book before I could really figure out what it was. My purpose through this was to write this book. God took me through this season of caring for mom and doing the things that I did. Because as I was going through this with her, I had actually had maybe 4 or 5 church members that were going through the same experiences. So I was also able to give them pointers of how they could get through certain things and do that. So that kind of made me feel
Mm,
good trying to help them. And then it was other people around me in the community that kind of, helped out in my workplace. So what I wanted them all to know when after reading this book that God takes you through things to
Mhm.
strengthen you in ways to help others. And having memory loss is in Alzheimer's and dementia is something that's very prominent. I mean, it's out there, everybody is going through it. And those who are going through it, we don't talk about it. So if we don't talk about it, how can we help the next person? So I felt like this journey, when God, after mom had passed, the first thing it kind of came to me, I said, I want to write a book. And I said that was one of my things that I wanted to do. So 6 years later, after she had passed, the book is out. It's done. I thought I wasn't going to get through it because it was times I just put it off to the side and say I'll get back to it later. And then it was just different seasons in my life that I was going through. God was taking me through after this to let me know that hey, the book is going to be published. Is going to get out. You just got to connect with the right people. And once you connect with the
Right.
right people, then everything else will be able to come out of this. So the main thing for them to kind of know is that I want them to have strength as they're going through this. So in these pages, they'll find strength and some hope. And, it'll kind of help them through as they go through.
That's good. I'm listening as I listen to you talk. There's another book that you just pronounced that you just come up with. You didn't hear it, but I did. Um, Pain to Your Purpose, Purpose to Your Pain. That's another book. And also, this book will help you do. You got that coaching voice that I hear. That you, those four individuals that you help, that's your coaching mechanism right there, because you helping them get through something that they are going through. So
That
that right there is your coaching mechanism, and you already brought up another book. So think about that as you when you get past this point. That's your second book, Purpose to Your
oh
Pain.
goodness. I tell
Yes,
you, Tanya, you're right on it. I'm actually in the middle of the second book now, writing that one, and I have that one that was supposed to be right now. I'm kind of throwing the names out there, but right now is navigating your pain um through
that's it.
So yes, God is there. There's a purpose for it, definitely, and
That's
it's
right.
working.
That's
It's
right.
working.
Right.
Definitely.
What advice can you share with individuals who care for their loved ones?
The first thing I would say, give yourself some grace.
Hmm.
Caregiving is one of the most challenging responsibilities a person can undertake or take on, and no one is perfect. So I had to realize that I'm not perfect. I'm not going to get everything right, but I just need to be there. And if I'm there, then that'll be good for them. Second thing I would kind of say is don't carry the burden alone. Don't carry it all on your own shoulders. In the beginning, I
Right.
carried
That's right.
everything on my shoulders. I didn't share
Hmm.
everything with my dad and brother right off the bat, as far as how I was feeling myself.
Right.
Yes, I was overwhelmed. Yes, I was stressed. But I didn't. I came in with a smile on my face each day and just took it as it, came and just kind of left it like at that. And then the third thing I would say, remember to care for yourself. I forgot in the beginning to care for myself. And it was days that my sugar was falling and I had no idea what was going on until after I was in the midst of I'm doing so much for
Yeah.
everybody else. And I'm thinking, why in the world am I in here shaking? I was like, oh, you haven't eaten all day. You don't went to work. You don't came back
Hmm.
home from work. Now you working with mom and you doing this. And it's just like, oh my goodness. I was like, yes, you got to take care of yourself. And you got to remember that you cannot pour from an empty cup. So you
Hmm.
definitely have to make sure that you're feeding yourself the spiritual word to get your strength. You gotta have other people around you that can come and help you out and do some things for you. And it's okay not to be okay. It's basically you need to let other people know, hey, you have somebody that you can trust and you can sit down with and just be real with, and they can talk you through some things that you might be going through at that time. So I really cherish your loved ones while they're here. And even though their memory is fading, guess what? They still feel your presence. So it was days when I walked in and I could just feel the presence of mom. And whether it was in her smile or whether it was the way that she touched my hand that day, or if it's the way that she laughed at something I might have said. So they still know that you're there with them. They might not know you fully or who you are, but they do know it's someone that's there that love them. So your presence does matter.
Right, right. Okay. Final question. What impact would you like your book, When Memory Fades, Love Remains, have on your audience?
I would say my greatest hope is that this book inspires healing, strength, and encouragement and give them hope. Um, I want caregivers to know that they are seen, they are supported, and they are understood. When families are dealing with memory loss or dementia, the challenges that they know they are going through, they're not alone. God is there with you even when you don't think He is. So you just got to lean and depend on Him and have a good relationship with Him so that way you can hear Him as He's speaking to you. That's
That's
very,
right.
very, very strong, for them to know. If they don't have a relationship with God in the beginning, then it's going to be hard for Him to kind of you to hear Him speak to you. So I just ask that you set back, kind of take account of yourself, and make sure that you're feeding yourself the word daily to get in your strength as well. And then if you have some type of support groups that you can go to make sure that you are getting more help with how to understand people with dementia and
Mm-hmm.
Alzheimer's, then it's a great help. Most of all, I hope the people remember that every act of caregiving is a ministry and it matters. Behind every
Right.
caregiver, there's a story, is a sacrifice, um, courage, and love. So my testimony, by me giving it, I hope it gives comfort, a renewed faith, and strength to other people when they're going through their journey. All right, I think I'm back
We're
on.
going to do this week. We're going to do this last question. I want you to
Okay.
share with the people where you can purchase your book and social media handles.
Memory fades, love remains. A daughter, a caregiver, and a survivor's testimony on Amazon.com. Or you can, if you're local in the area, you can purchase it from me. I have signed copies as well. Otherwise, you can also reach me on Facebook under LaTonya Lee on Facebook, or you can go under my book, When Memory Fades, Love Remains. I also have a Facebook page for that as well.
Okay, that's good. I'm going to have to check that out myself.
Thank you.
We want to thank Miss LaTonya Lee for being our guest on Pushing to Your Purpose podcast. You can listen to this interview on YouTube and Spotify. Oh, Jesus.